What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Let's give it up for drum major Mickey Mouse and his crew. And we need some more energy in the house today. We about to do something. There we go. There we go. This is what we talking about. Are we in Atlanta? That's where we at? We in Atlanta? Look, thank you so much. Welcome to the Black Sports Business Symposium powered by ESPN. My name is John McLeod. I'm excited to be here. Are y'all excited to be here? Are y'all excited to be here? Let's get it. We're going to turn this place up. Listen, this is a fantastic event. You're going to meet some people. You're going to see some people. Your life is going to be changed, and you're not going to leave here the same. Can I get an amen? All right, all right. So I want to give a shout out to the amazing people behind the scenes. Thank you all so much for being awesome. Thank you for putting on all of the things that you see here today. And three of those people, I believe that they're getting ready to come up to the stage, are phenomenal, and they helped put all of this together. The first person is the co-founder and executive director of Black Sports Business Symposium, my man, Gregory Gibson Jr. What's up, Greg? The second person coming to the stage right now is my man, Brian Lockhart. He is the Senior Vice President of ESPN Plus Original Content and ESPN Films. Let's give it up for Brian Lockhart. And the last person, certainly last but not least, Stephen Cannon, the CEO of AMG Sports and Entertainment. Let's welcome them to the stage. Let's clap it up.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this morning? I need more energy because I didn't sleep last night, so help me out. How y'all doing this morning? Does this feel like home? Does this feel like home? It's been 2 years since we were able to get together like this, right? Y'all looking forward to the next one? We haven't even got through this one yet. Y'all know what y'all are excited about? Please know that I'm most excited about each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all being here today. This is an amazing opportunity for you all to connect, learn, build, grow. There's no excuse for you to not meet the person that you want to meet, to not connect around the job that you want to connect around. This is an opportunity to change your lives, and I hope you all take advantage of it as we take advantage of engaging with such wonderful, amazing people like you. So if there's anything that y'all need this weekend, let me not say anything because I know that some of y'all will take it above here, but if there's anything that y'all need, please reach out. This is a family we're building here. Actually, the family already existed. We just wanted to pull y'all all together in one place. So I need y'all to know that this is for you all, and we will continue to build and grow to better serve our community, our family. So I thank y'all for that, all right?
Thank you, Greg. Well said. And I think to build on that intention, like today is an opportunity for each and every one of you is to create the world that you want to see. You know, and there's been, like you said, 2 years, over 2 years of planning. Gregory and I go back to talking about how do we make something that is going to provide paths and opportunities for people. We've been talking about this for 5, 6, 7 years. In the 2 years that it's taken us to get to this point, you know, like it's humbling that we've gotten to this point. And the thing that is most important about it is that we seized on an opportunity that the world presented us. And we will never forget the moment when we all kind of like witnessed what happened with George Floyd, and how like amongst all of our DE&I practitioners inside of all of our companies and inside of all our organizations, we started sharing our own stories and what our own lived experiences were. And then colleagues started asking us, like, you know, how do I be an ally? How do I be an accomplice in your story? And to be quite honest, we probably talked ourselves out a little bit too much. And the questions then start being like, what do we do? How do we turn this into something that's impactful? And what we decided to do was to say, if we can't find a way to make a path for people, let's make our own way. Let's make our own way. And so Black Sports Business Symposium was already in the works, and when I walked into senior leader's office and said, here's what we have to do, I have to say that the leadership at ESPN said, all right, we see it. What do you need? And then when I walked in, I gave them a multi-year plan with multiple 7 figures attached to it. They said, all right, we're on board. Let's go do it. And then when I came back to Gregory and he put his team together, and then I started putting all calls out to people inside of ESPN, all I got was like, all right, we see it. Let's get to it. Let's go create a place and a space for us. Because we're tired of others saying, we can't find talent. They're not out there. I don't know how to get, to make my team more diverse. We know you're here. You're here. So create the space that you want. And today, I have to give just a quick shout out to those at ESPN who have shown up and showed out over the last like 6 to 8 months in planning this, and specifically our steering committee. And I need to say that it is led by Black women. Black women are the backbone, are the brains, and are the bosom for which we are being held close in this event. Please know that Miranda Thorpe and Stephanie Grant, they do everything from managing 7-figure budgets to stuffing bags to make that make that for you today. We got Heather Anderson, my business boo, essentially, who we've been in the trenches on everything. We have Kati Fernandez, who's an amazing champion of everything we have going on. We have so many people to thank, and you will hear their names plenty over this weekend, but know that you have an army behind you and that we are here. We are here to make this an experience that you can change your life. You can change your life. Network this weekend. Network like you want, like there's a job out there, because there are jobs out here. We have our D&I professionals, Woki Dabo and Sharita, part of that steering committee. They are here for you. So know that we're changing the game this weekend. So let's get started.
Thank you, Brian. Hey, everybody, good morning. I am deeply honored to be sharing the stage with you folks. It takes a village, or in Brian's case, it takes an army to change the world, and bringing people together is what does it. Creating forums where we can meet each other, we can understand our differences, we can come together, and that's how you build community. So let me welcome you on behalf of Arthur Blank, our owner and chairman, who sends his regards. He is deeply connected to what we're doing here today and wishes he could be here, so he's sending his regards. Welcome from Arthur. Welcome from everyone at AMB Sports and Entertainment and at Mercedes Benz Stadium. We're pretty proud of this facility. It's hosted a lot of really important events. In fact, there's a World Cup announcement that's going on tonight, and we hope that we'll be hosting for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. But this event, folks, this event today is just as important as the Super Bowl that we've done, and the Final Four that we almost did but got COVIDized, and the College Football National Championship. So today and the next couple days is really, really important. So I would ask you, be here, be present, put your phones away. Like, there's nothing more important going on over the next couple days than what we've got going here, and what gentlemen like this have worked really hard to come together to create this for all of you. So let's make it count to honor all the people that have gone out of their way to make this work. So I got a couple thank yous. That's why I got my note cards. Kevin, Steve Weish, Gregory Gibson, obviously your leadership has meant the world, as well as Brian Lockhart taking it from ESPN. These are the visionaries that for 2 hard years tried to rally people together. This event, you might not realize, is a heavy, heavy lift. So while it might seem seamless and the production values look great, there's a lot of people that have sweated a lot of details. So these gentlemen right here deserve a round of applause, with hopefully many more to follow before this week is up. I have to shout out to the AMB Sports and Entertainment team for all that they've done. Things that look effortless generally have a lot of hard work that go into it. No, by the way, just 2 days ago, we hosted a soccer game against the Mexican team called Pachuca, and a few days before that, we had a Coldplay concert. So this is a busy building. So in and around that busy building, we've been planning for this event and setting it up. So to the team, Natalie, and everybody that's touched this, Shannon, deep gratitude, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. And I also just want to shout out to my boss, Arthur Blank. In addition to opening his doors and embracing this initiative by hosting, he's also provided 100 of you, I hope you're out there, and he's offset the cost so that you could be here and hopefully take full advantage. So thanks again, Arthur, for being here in spirit. Final thing, just make it count. This is a great opportunity to learn from some really smart people that care, to connect with people, to build your network, and to learn. What a wonderful platform. This is the inaugural Black Sports Business Symposium. It's the start of many more good things to come, and I thank you all and have a great couple days. Appreciate you.
One last note that I want to just have for everybody is that this evening, you're all invited to join us in our official attempt to break a Guinness World Record. Play the video. So after Deion Sanders and his keynote speech, we will have an opportunity to meet 20 new connections. If we can get over like 1,000 people during that speed networking event, we will break a world record, and we'll be highlighted on NBA today on ESPN. So that is a big deal for us. And this is not just for show. These are decision makers, folks. These are decision makers and people who can change the trajectory of your career if you impress the right people. So take advantage of it, and we're starting big today. So thank you all. Thank you all.
My last word on this, you are the guest of honor. You are here because we needed you here. Be proud, be strong, be present. This is an opportunity of a lifetime if you allow it to be, right? Are we focused? We here? We here to do that thing? All right, I expect to see y'all all weekend in all of your glory. Connecting, building, enjoying, because we're so excited to have you here. So thank you all for being here with us today.
Let's get it. Come on, don't let that energy die. This is the day one. This is day one. We're changing the game, y'all. Everything they said, plus, I appreciate y'all for doing this. Now, I know y'all spaced out. I know you're excited to get the jitters out, but we got somebody coming right now. This band coming right now. I just put it in one word, electric. Let's show some love. Clap it up. Let's start clapping it up now. Show some love for Shockwave. Get your stomper shoes ready. Let's go. Let's give it up for Shockwave. Yeah, I told y'all they were good. I've been feeling like I was in Wakanda for a second. I like that. Listen, this is going to be amazing. I keep saying it, everybody keeps saying it because it is. First time this has ever been done, y'all are a part of history. So let's clap it up for that. Y'all ready to make history today? And speaking of amazing, amazing trailblazing history, this next person that's coming to the stage is a phenomenal woman. Shout out to Maya Angelou, a phenomenal woman. She has done amazing things. She has trailblazers. She's all of the things she has done. She's amazing. She's my auntie. I call her my auntie. She's, you know, you just adopt and pull her in. She's amazing. She's the vice president and the editor-in-chief of Andscape. She has traveled all over, and she's a massive Whitney Houston fan and the biggest. She's just phenomenal. Let's give it up for Raina Kelly. Hi, auntie. How you doing?
Is this thing working? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Black Sports Business Symposium. How wonderful is this? Oh my God, gorgeous. Can I just say that? Can I just start with that, please? I am Raina Kelly. I'm the editor-in-chief of Andscape. It used to be called The Undefeated, and we changed our name. Why? Why did you change your name? Because it is our job to let all of you know that what it means to be Black is whatever you bring to it, right? It's family, faith, excellence, love, and magic, but it's also whatever you want it to be, right? As I say, the definition of what it means to be Black is as wide and as long as the horizon. And that's why we changed our name, because there's so many people out there and things in society that want to put you in a box, that want to tell you what to be, how to be it, who to be it, even people who you consider your own kin. And this is just a place where we want you to know that you can be yourself. So I'm going to introduce a little bit of Andscape for you before we get started. And here it is on the
When you see it at your front door, you are gonna want more. Something fresh, so brand new. Something you can't handle. Light the fire like a candle. There's nothing that you can't do.
Holler back when I at you. I'm going nuts, that's cashews.
Cashews, everything around me. Dollar, dollar bill, yeah. Cashews, everything around me. Holla how you feel, dog. I don't know about you. Why one, hop out two. Jump in, hop out two. Watch what I say and how I do it.
If you don't love me now, you gon' love me tomorrow. If you don't love me now, you gon' love me tomorrow.
us, but we're here to talk about you just for a little bit before I introduce my first guest. And why are we here? Why are we here? And I want you to know, you're gonna hear a lot of things about this and resumes and networking. There's just one thing I wanna remind you, two things, because I'm an auntie, two things I wanna remind you. One, remember your magic, right? And we used to be founded by a quote by Maya Angelou, but Maya Angelou said something else, and I want to remind you of that, which is she said, it took me a long time to be on my own side, but once I was, that changed everything. So that's what I want you to take across these next couple of days, right? Be on your own side, be your own best advocate, right? Of your own magic, of your own excellence, right? Of your own scape, whatever ands you want to bring into it. Just be your own best. And let me just make sure we're ready. Okay, we're ready. All right. My first guest, I am going to be bringing out Erin Simon. She is the co-owner of one of the fastest growing esports organizations out there, XSET. She was the first female face, advocate for Puma for esports. She has worked with all sorts of companies across the 400, including Xbox, on diversifying, widening, and opening up esports and gaming to people who perhaps they think that gaming's not for them, but it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the stage Erin Simon.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I'm not going to start with what's your favorite game, right? Because everybody asks you that all the time.
That would be a hard.
And yeah, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings if you do that. I'm not going to do that. But I do want to know, when people think about gaming, right? They don't necessarily think about people who look like me or look like you, right? Where did your passion come from?
So my passion for gaming started because of my older brother, Ian. When I was a kid, he was playing Sonic on Sega Genesis. And when I was, I walked by the TV and I was like, what is with this bright lights and like crazy noise and sounds? And when I saw the game, I was like, oh wow, this is something really cool. And what kind of furthered that passion and interest was that my brother is older than me, he's 3 years older than me. And of course I was the sibling that always wanted to do everything that my brother wanted to do. But over time, it became a passion for me because I really enjoyed it and I loved it. And around that time, we didn't really have social media in the sense of creating a community and like interacting with our friends. So a lot of times we'd be, going to a friend's place to play games, or eventually when I was in high school, we were able to play online. So that was kind of the beginning of like meeting and coming across so many different people all across the world and all across the US. And as I just continued to enjoy it, like it became something that was not only a passion, but also like a safe space for myself. Because before that, I played soccer all my life. I was a D1 athlete. I played at the University of Kentucky. And yeah, go Cats, woo! And I wasn't able to really travel a whole lot, so playing video games was what kept me really in touch with like my friends and really helped me through just the challenges and struggles of being a top athlete and having to juggle that plus academics and a bunch of different things. So, and I have to give a big shout out to my mom too, because she really supported my passion and my journey since day one.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, shout out to moms right now, just cause.
Yeah.
Feeling it right now. Okay, so I think this is the question I want to ask for this symposium, which is you turned a passion, something that you loved, into a job. I mean, this is what you do all day. Can you tell me a little bit about that journey? You added, and this is the part I love, you want to diversify, you want to widen, you want to make more available gaming.
Yeah.
How did that become your passion?
So that became my passion because over time, when I became a broadcaster and executive and worked in the esports and gaming space, I would be in rooms and decision-making rooms, and I was the only representative, not only for those of us who are Black, but also I'm also Latin too. And I kind of got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to be the only one, but I understand that there is a responsibility for me to break down these doors to create more seats at the table, or at least make more visibility that there are seats at the table. And so over time, when I saw all this, I was like, okay, gaming is one of the most universal things, next to music, but yet we do not have a universal representation of the community at these decision-making tables. And so, eventually I've been able to gain the respect and relationships, whether it's the head of Microsoft Gaming, Phil Spencer, several members over at Xbox, or several, like the co-founder of Riot Games, one of the biggest publishers in the world. I eventually was able to get their ears. And because I was able to get their ears, I was like, hey, you love the work that I do, but there are so many young individuals who are just like me. Why don't we create opportunities to bring them into this space? And kind of what helped that too was one of my mentors, her name is Angela Roseborough. She's the Chief Diversity Officer over at Riot Games. And I actually was having conversations and working with her about how can we get gaming into HBCUs, because there's so many talented individuals and students that have come from HBCUs that could provide their insight into gaming. So because of that, we see Riot's getting involved. My friend Ryan Johnson, who's a co-founder of Community, the nonprofit, also has been getting involved in that. So now that we have everyone's attention, it's like honing in on it. And the fact that a lot of companies have millions of dollars set aside till their promise was, I think, around 2024 to invest into underserved communities. Now it's just about, putting that passion and putting the energy into developing a plan, a concise plan, so that they know how much and where the money's going to be allocated so that we can get more people into the space. So now, because I know all this behind the scenes business and finance information, I'm like, all right, this is the perfect time to go full force into it.
But I mean, and I think this is important for the people who are at the beginning of their career, right? Which is that lots of people say, we talk about all the time, as we come upon Juneteenth, things are national, federal holidays now, and suddenly things are fashionable, right? And companies use words and phrases to talk about inclusivity and their support of diversity and equality. You have a job where you are actually making sure that those words have meaning. Is that something that you always wanted to do? Did you want to make the world a better place?
Oh yeah, of course. And I also wanted these big companies to put their money where their mouth is. I think that, with the company that I'm part of the ownership for, XSET, it is a tier 1 gaming esports organization in the world, fastest growing. The great thing about it is that the executives, they brought me in early as part of the ownership group, and the one thing I told them, I straight up said, if the ownership is not over 50% of the ownership is not of people of color, specifically black people, then I do not want to be part of it. And they say to that commitment, over 50% of our ownership is consisting of black and Latin individuals. We have one of the most diverse organizations when it comes to most of the tier 1 esports organizations. And we've been doing so many great things. We partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We just are putting on a Pride event in Boston to help with the Transgender Emergency Fund. So there's a lot that we do. We have a commitment towards giving back, because so many of these communities invest and provide, money and time and resources into gaming and into the organization and into our teams. So our whole philosophy is that it's about giving back, and the 3 core values of diversity, inclusivity, and social good should be at the core of every single company, because without the consumers, we wouldn't be anything. So that's why, for us, it's super important to invest all of that into our fans and our community and those who enjoy gaming or just like simple things like entertainment. We have entertainers. We have Sway Lee, who's part of our ownership group, Ezekiel Elliott, Ozuna, and they're all about giving back too.
Well, I mean, and again, this is for you. Struggle sometimes in the beginning of your career thinking, I want to make money, right? I mean, there's actually nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. And I want to do good things, and I want to be about D, E, and I, and I want to be part of something, right? And I think gaming is, and this is why I love that you and I are talking, gaming is something that people think of as rigid, right? Not rigid, but rule-based, right? You have to be like this, or you play like this, or you do it like this. And it's not a place where maybe if you don't look like a stereotypical gamer, do you have any advice for our friends here who are gonna have to face rooms where they feel like they may be the only or the first, or that they have to do some talking to make something black-led? How did you find that voice in the beginning?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was very hard, because not only am I using my voice to speak up, but I'm also very public and front-facing on social media. So a lot of times, I'm dealing with the trolls, the backlash, and all of that often. And I think what really pushed me was developing a core group of support behind the scenes, whether it's family, whether it's those in the industry. It really helps. And personally, at the end of the day, it's more fulfilling to do this job and to push forward being myself than to try to assimilate to the standards that other people have placed upon it. And over time, because of the mentors I've had, I've learned how to speak up and say things, but not have, you know, some executives and people say, oh, she's the angry black woman, or oh, she's aggressive. Like, I've learned over time how to navigate that and understood that, you know, leaning into those who wanted to be true allies, and kind of part of it is a little bit of educating them to have them understand, but then also encouraging them and saying, hey, if you speak up, I will support you through those things. So it was a multitude of things that kind of led and helped me to be able to push these Black-led initiatives within the gaming space.
And it's interesting, I think you touched on something that doesn't get brought up enough. Everywhere you go, I mean, President Biden said it yesterday, we are constantly inundated with messages of be yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. You are loved. It's all about, you know, be yourself. And what people never tell you, but you just mentioned it, is that you feel better, you do better work, you are better when you act like yourself, right? And can you just talk a little bit about that, like what you meant by that when you said, I began to feel better and then it got easier? Like,
Yeah.
I think it feels so hard in the beginning.
Yeah. I think it feels so hard too, because it's like there's extra pressure for us, right? Like, we have to work twice as hard or 110% harder than some of our colleagues and counterparts. And I mean, we all know this, the conversations we've had growing up as kids, some of our colleagues haven't. So there is that pressure. And I always tell people, like, your mental health is more important than anything. Like, no job should ever surpass your mental health and well-being, like, ever. And over time, yeah, clap to that. We gotta clap to that, because
clap to that.
we're always taught.
You need to feel that. Yeah, you gotta feel that.
Because it's like, you know, and I'm very happy that mental health conversations are becoming more prevalent within the Black community, because it is, like, there's a lot of generational trauma and all these different things that we have to deal with on top of having to overperform in work as well. And so I really leaned into, like, focusing on my wellness, focusing on myself, and ensuring, am I happy? If I'm not happy, I'm not going to do said thing or partake in certain business things. And part of that is, like, when I am happy and I'm grounded in myself and I am at peace with myself, I'm more comfortable with speaking up, saying no. Or another thing too, which we have to have a better conversation about, is we should be able to ask for ownership and equity in companies and businesses. If you want our expertise, you know, our community drives the culture. So the least that you can do is give us a share, you know? And so that, you know, being comfortable myself in that sense is, and working on that aspect of myself has actually helped me with being more firm and being okay with speaking up and asking for things. What's the worst thing that they can say? No? Okay. You know?
Which is an interesting thing, right? As a woman, and it happens double, right? As a Black woman, people look at you askance, right? They give you a little, when you ask for what you want, the word diva gets thrown around, or emotional, or how do you deal with that kind of difference, right? When if a man asks for it, or it's just doing business, but a woman asks, you get the difficult word.
Yeah. I always back up what I say with facts and actual qualitative and quantitative measures of how I performed. You can't argue, you know, those numbers, or you can't argue the output. Or if I do a broadcast and most of the fans and people who are watching are all happy with the product, the executives, like, you can't argue that when I put it all together in a concise manner and say, this is why I'm asking for X, Y, and Z. So it's not just like asking and throwing it out into the wind. It is actually pitching and putting that information in a business perspective for them to understand why I'm asking. And my whole thing is, like, okay, people may call me a diva, but, like, people can call me anything, you know? Like, they already call me stuff because I'm Black. So I'm like, I don't even care. I'm just gonna ask, you know? And if, you know, and some of my inspirations, Serena and Venus Williams are, like, some of my inspirations of, like, public figures, because we're seeing the doors and the barriers that they've broken down in tennis we're starting to see it now with so many of the upcoming generation of players. So I say, Serena is one of the best athletes in the world. Not even, as a woman, athlete, period. And she still is going through people doubting and the struggles and all that. So if she can overcome it, if her sister can overcome it, if some of these amazing, look, even Beyonce has to overcome it in just general music entertainment.
Even Beyonce.
Yeah. So it's like, if they can, I can as well. And just, we may not reap the rewards right away, but it will come 5-10 years from now.
And as my last question, which is not really a question, it's a stealth compliment. Do you see yourself, because this is important, do you see yourself as the trailblazer that you are? Like, you are breaking down doors and avenues and creating opportunities for everybody who wants to be in esports and gaming, and it would not have been comfortable for them. Do you feel that yourself? Do you express that? And
Yeah, I think humbly, I am one of the most prominent faces in the gaming space and gaming entertainment space. And so I do feel like I'm a trailblazer and breaking it down, because before then, I didn't see anyone that looked like myself. The only representation for me personally that I felt like, oh, this is someone who's like me, was Lala, because I'm Puerto Rican and Black. But I think now, the barriers and the doors that I've been breaking down, and also the access to resources. I've actually been taking some of the people that I know, some executives, also some casting directors and other individuals to help train other people, whether it's women, those from the Black community, those from LGBTQIA+. Like, I've been taking all of these resources I have access to help train them, because I got professional training as well, and that costs a lot of money, or you have to work for a company to get it. So yeah, I do feel like I'm trailblazing, and I do feel like I'm creating an amazing legacy, and one that's not just about, oh, Erin's a great broadcaster, but Erin is someone who's changed people's lives, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for opening up the Black Sports Business Symposium with us.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Erin Ashley Simon.
Hi, everyone. Hi, thank you so much.
My next guest, I had the pleasure. Can you hear me? Okay. My next guest, we had the pleasure of working together because Andscape is now also a book imprint with Disney Publishing. And we signed her to write a book. Her name, Shalitha Dragon Sky Curtis, look it up. She's an amazing hiker, activist, and pat it out. Need a few minutes. She's an amazing hiker and activist, and her mission is like gaming, but outside in the world. Her mission is to bring the outdoors to us, right? There's so many parts of this planet, right, that either we do it ourselves or people do it for us. These things are not for you. And one of those things, and we looked at their trailblazers to break through these doors. One of these things that she did is she hiked the Appalachian Trail. Okay, right? No, that's a really big deal. I'm gonna get this right, just look at my notes. That is, in case anyone was wondering, 14 states, 2,193 miles. Not all of it safe for Black women, but she did it. And she is currently hiking the Continental Trail, and next year she's hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. And she just signed up to write her memoir for Andscape Books, and I'm thrilled about that, because what she represents, and Erin before her, is an opportunity for us to show the world, and I'm talking to each and every one of you, to show the world that you don't have to be what anyone says you have to be, right? And so how you carve your career out in, whether it be in sports or in music, or you come work with me at Andscape and we do Black and everything, or you don't even, that's not the Black and thing is not the thing that you put in, your LinkedIn bio, but you're doing something for that. You need to do what makes you feel content, what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel whole, right? What brings out your own black girl magic. Took a long time for me to learn, especially doing this job and talking to a lot of people about, I mean, I've been doing this, widening the lens on the black experience for about 25 years now, and it took me a long time to realize that we don't always, well, we didn't always love each other, love ourselves as much as we should or as hard as we should. And now, there's this new feeling that what it is to be black, the way we are right now, this very second, is absolutely enough. As a matter of fact, it's more than enough. Think about that, right? Where we talk about this lost memory or trauma, and then we talk about in the same breath how we drive the culture. That is amazing. Right? And in the history of a people in a land, that is an amazing accomplishment, right? To go from to driving literally the culture. Just want to make sure everything's okay. Okay, great. We are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the stage now Dragon Sky. Hot off the trail. She literally left the trail to come talk to us. Okay, first, this is going to sound self-serving, but can I congratulate you for signing to write your memoir for Andscape Books? Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
The first thing I want to talk about is you are a hiker and an activist. Tell me about the activist part related to hiking. What are you doing?
Okay. Yes, the activist part of hiking for me is changing the narrative of hiking. Being in the outdoors, I don't see many people, barely anyone that looks like me. So my goal is to show up in nature, and by showing up, lead other people, other black people who are interested out into nature to find their freedom.
And how is that? I mean, you have a very, very popular connection with your audience, people who also like to go outside. And when we first met, you told me stories about, especially these two little girls who look up to you and wanted to do. Tell me about the reaction of literally being something that a small child wants to be but has never seen before. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I just finished the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine as of November. And
I'm going to say it again. 2,193 miles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was the only black woman until I found a woman named Turtle. She adopted 3 black girls. Their name is Hiking with the 3 Ks. That's what they call themselves. And I remember being at a hostel in Virginia, and the hostel owner was like, "You have a fan club coming in." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I have lots of fans." And I turned the corner and there's these 3 black girls just like, "Dragon Sky," and they just lit up. And from there on, we hiked together, and they were so happy to just see someone that looked like them. And they were interviewed on Instagram, I believe, like a year ago, and they were asked, "Who do you guys look up to?" They're 8, 9, and 13 years old, and they were like, "Dragon Sky." And it just touched me because I was the only person that they could look up like that, look like them on trail. And I spent so much time with these girls teaching them how to make fires, setting up camp, and we're still in contact, but like just having those 3 little girls
Yes.
looking at me just makes a huge difference, and it reminds myself of why I'm doing this.
I'm so glad. Yeah. Lots of that. And I am so glad that you're doing it, but it's not something that's natural, right? You didn't start as a hiker, and there was a bit of pain, some travail that got you from one place to another. That is going to touch, because life is what it is, right? All of us. How did you find your passion when you weren't quite sure what it was? How did you get on trail? How did you find it?
That's a great question. So 2 years ago, actually, I was just working as a vet tech. I didn't think anything of hiking. I didn't know about hiking. I didn't even know the Appalachian Trail ran through New Jersey. Yeah. had no idea. And after losing my job, it was like my whole life. So I kind of had a mental breakdown, and I didn't really know where to go. So I ended up doing some therapy, outpatient therapy, but also just remembering that when I went to Harriman, there was an older white gentleman who was like, you know, behind me is the Appalachian Trail. It runs 2,193 miles from Georgia to Maine. And I was like, whoa, people do that? You know, people actually will take a pack and walk for 6 months. And it just came back to me, and I just started hiking. I started going to Harriman, Bear Mountain State Park, just going on day hikes, and then I would go back to group, and they're like, oh, how are you feeling today? And I'm like, I feel great. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I'm hiking. I'm like, I get to touch the trees and touch the water and interact with my environment. And from there on, I actually joined the Appalachian Trail Facebook groups, which are like 60,000 strong. And Ahmaud Arbery had just been killed jogging in Georgia. So I posed the question to the group, you know, about my safety in the South in Georgia as a black woman. And the members responded with just overt racism, just sending me threads, calling me all types of names. And eventually it got picked up and it went viral. Because I didn't know how I was going to do the Appalachian Trail. It cost $6,000 to $8,000 to do a through hike. And just from that article going viral, me talking about my pain, because I was so angry, I was like, I'm going to write to Oprah, I'm going to write to whoever I can, because this shouldn't be going on in the group. And it's like, because people are like, you know, politics don't belong in this group. And I'm like, my race is not a politic. This is who I am.
Yes.
You know, and just from all that hate, a whole career kind of just came out of it, blossomed out of it, because of all the hate in that article. And professors started coming to me, companies started coming to me, like, we want to sponsor your hike. And that's how I got on trail, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to afford this, but just that me writing about it in the companies, like, yeah, there are no black people in the hiking, you know, community. And they started paying attention to it. Like, what can we do? So they started donating gear and stuff to me, and money and other things to just help me get on my feet. And that's when I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do the Triple Crown.
And you're going to do the Triple Crown. And you will be... there's a number of firsts related to that. Has a black woman ever done the Triple Crown before?
There's only one black woman in history who has done the Triple Crown.
And you're going to be the second one.
I will be the second black woman in history to complete the Triple Crown of hiking.
She will be. And then she's going to write all about it for Andscape Books, which is going to be amazing, coming soon, where books are sold. You just said something really interesting that I want to circle back on, which is that your safety, your race, who you are, is not a political issue, right?
Yes.
What do you mean by that when you feel? You know, because we're talking to a lot of future, with some real trailblazers out there in the audience, and some future trailblazers. I can see it, right? I see a lot of disruptive aura out there. What do you want to tell them when the hate does come, when the thing that you've been fearing does happen?
When the hate does come, honestly, I just push past it, because the hate, like, people are going to hate and not really accept, like, black people being outdoors. I just noticed, like, me being out, and people are like, well, if black people wanted to be here, they would be outside already, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. You are about to do this, the Triple Crown. You have hiked the Appalachian Trail, and you, of all people, hear over and over again. We've talked about this. Black people don't like the outdoors. We don't do the outdoors. We don't know anything about the outdoors. You might even hear that sometimes from black people.
Yeah.
And so tell me about those limitations, how you push past those. Definitions.
Okay.
I'll start with that.
When people, like, push at me, I push harder. Like, and just growing up in Newark, being told, like, oh, black people, we don't do that. Only white people do this. White people go outside. White people ski. That's for white people. Why are you trying to be white? And I'm like, well, it seems like white people are having fun. You know, if that's what they're doing. You know, and just constantly being judged for, even now, I'm still judged. Like, oh, you're a white girl. You're a white girl for hiking. And I'm like, what makes an activity like that white? Everyone should have access, especially black people, to
And what
freedom
makes
in
you
the
a
outdoors.
literal white girl from actually just one foot in front of the other? You've had to hide on the trail. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, there was an incident on the Appalachian Trail, which runs through Georgia and Tennessee, Tennessee being the most scary state I've ever gone through. And there was a crossing on trail, and it was the coldest day on trail. I was hypothermic. There was a hostel there, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna go into the hostel. I end up walking down the street, and there's just Confederate flags everywhere. And in the map comments that we have electronically, it's like owner uses the N-word frequently. And I was just like, oh no. So I walked back, and there was a guy following me in a truck with the Confederate flag. I ended up having to hide into the woods, the section that I had just come out, and ended up calling one of my dragonflies, which is what I call my fans, my followers. And she ended up coming and drove me up the trail. Now in that same spot, the girls that I was just talking about, they had to hide there too. So that just tells you a lot about that area, the 3 black girls. They had to hide in the woods there for their safety. And that was one of the most terrifying things that I experienced on the Appalachian Trail.
So let's talk about that in terms of strength, trauma, resiliency, right? That is something that could have stopped you. That is something that you could have said, oh, you know what? Everybody's right. I am trying to be a white girl. This is a white girl thing. I cannot believe I'm going to do this. No, you went, and now you're doing it. Not only did you make it, I'm going to hike the Triple Crown, but I'm going to make it my life's mission to bring black people to the outdoors, to stop all these lies about what we do and don't do outside. What gave you the strength to push through on that?
What gave me the strength to push through is, I really wanted to hike, and I knew what I was getting into. I knew that it was the South. And I'm like, you know what, being a black woman in America, I'm 30 years old, so what haven't I really experienced? And that's not gonna stop me. I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be racists down there. Yeah, they're not gonna like me. I've done karaoke in like a all-white like state, and they just stared at me like, what is she doing in here? But you know what, I'm like, I'm gonna keep showing up whether it makes you comfortable or not. Like, this is what I wanna do. I wanna hike, and I wanna be free. You can call me whatever you wanna call me, I'm gonna do this. And that's always been my mindset. Like, when I put myself to something, I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be challenges, and racism being the biggest challenge, not even the mountains being the biggest challenge, but racism. It just like propelled me, because hate is gonna be there. Hate's always gonna be there.
But it doesn't stop you.
No.
It has never stopped you. Do you think that's what they mean when they say black girl magic?
Yeah, I love that term. Hashtag Black Girl Magic, yes.
Yes, yes. Lately, that term's been under a little bit of fire. I think it requires a little too much perfectionism from us and so on and so forth. But I also think the gall, right, the effrontery to faced with the scariest moment of your life, to make it bigger, to give it passion and purpose. I just want to congratulate you for that. She's flying back to trail literally today, this afternoon. And so if we could get a huge round of applause, and thank you for Dragon Sky as she leaves to hike the Continental Divide.
Yes.
Yeah! And next year, the Pacific Coast Trail. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. I will. You come with me. So, the purpose of this opening town hall, which isn't really a town hall, it was a conversation, was just to bring out 2 people who do not do what we think we do, right? I mean, I have battled the same thing. That's not what girls do. That's not what black girls do. That's not how you're supposed to behave. You're trying to be white. That's too black. the point of all of this is that the joy, the authenticity, the happiness that they find in their job are related to 3 core issues, right? Is finding their purpose and their passion, but also finding that thing. It's not just about money, but finding that thing that makes them feel free. Right? And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the color of your skin or what people like to call black girl magic. It's about leaning into your, here's a little brand sales again, leaning into your ands, right? The things that you think might make you weird or you think that might make you unusual. For me, for Erin, for Dragon Sky, these are the things that have made us exceptional, certainly them. I mean, I'm not even going to use those words for me, certainly them, right? And it's what makes them different, and it's what makes them unique. And it's not about being extra, it's about being special, right? And that passion, that authenticity, that naturalness, but also that need to be free is part of what you're going to be bringing into your career. And I just want to thank you for giving this time to Andscape and myself and our guests this morning. Thank you very much. I have to introduce, hold on one second, let me just find out what's going on. the co-founder and CEO of the Black Sports Business Symposium. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gregory Gibson Jr. Woo!
I'm back. I guess I'm back. How's everybody doing? Y'all enjoy that first opening session? Awesome, awesome. I neglected to do this earlier, so I'm going to do this because we have an amazing team. And I was going to save all of that for later, but I want to make sure that y'all know how important these folks are to us. I'm not going to call out names yet, but you will hear each and every one of their names. But when you see somebody with a staff badge or an all-access badge, please know they have all access because they're working. So please say thank you. Please show them some love because they want to be sitting in these stands, but they're trying to make this really special for you all. So give them a little bit of love. Does everybody have the app on their phone? Does everybody have the app on their phone? All right, do y'all know what y'all's favorite session will be at 11:30? I would ask y'all to call them out, but I wouldn't understand anything y'all said. I do need y'all to be prepared at 11:30. In the meantime, we've got time for y'all to do some networking. This is a networking conference. We built in 30 minutes between each session. Some sessions will go long, some sessions will go short. But when you're not in session, be connecting with each other. Your next business partner is sitting right next to you. You might not even know it. So take this time to engage, to dig in, but be back in your seats for whatever session that you need to see because you don't want to miss it. Does that work? Does that work? I'm telling you, I need y'all's energy so I can have some. I didn't sleep last night. No sleep, and I don't plan to sleep. I might actually be out there partying with y'all at some point, but I'm gonna need a second win for that. Second win for that. All right, I'm gonna let y'all get to it. We got 40 minutes before the next session starts. Dig in, network, meet your people, be back here or whatever stage that you need to be on.